two daughters, one kind, one cruel, both beautiful beyond measure. A king seeks a wife, and only one will wear the crown. But in the shadows of the journey, something ancient watches, something that sees beyond beauty, beyond smiles, beyond the masks we wear. Which sister will become queen? The answer lies not in beauty, but in the darkness of the heart. Welcome to your favorite storytelling channel, Afrikaans to the World. Listens to inspiring and raw African folk tales. Before we continue in today's story, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and notification bells, so you don't miss out on any of our stories. Now back to the story. In a small village, nestled between mountains and mist, there lived a man named Mufaro. He had two daughters, and both were so beautiful that travelers would stop just to glimpse them. The eldest was named Meniera. Her beauty was like a flame, bright, captivating, impossible to ignore. But flames can burn, and Meniera's heart was cold as ash. She was cruel to those beneath her. Servants feared her sharp tongue. Animals fled from her presence. Even her own sister felt the sting of her contempt. The younger daughter was named Nyasha. Her beauty was different, gentle, like moonlight on water. Where Meniera commanded, Nyasha listened. Where Meniera took, Nyasha gave. She tended a secret garden where she sang to the plants, and they seemed to sing back. She fed scraps to a small garden snake she'd named. She treated everyone, high or low, with the same kindness. But when their father was near, Meniera wore a different face. She smiled sweetly. She spoke gently. She hid the monster that lived behind her eyes. Only Nyasha knew the truth, and she said nothing. "Why do you let her treat you this way?" the garden snake once asked. For in this story, even snakes can speak. Nyasha smiled sadly. "Because she is my sister, and I hope one day she will find peace." The snake coiled tighter, as if it knew something Nyasha did not. One morning, a messenger arrived from the city. The great king sought a wife. All the worthy daughters of the land were invited to the capital. The king would choose his queen. Meniera's eyes gleamed like a predator sighting prey. "I will be queen," she declared. "No one is more beautiful than I. Not even you, Nyasha." Nyasha said nothing. She had no desire for crowns or thrones. But their father insisted both daughters make the journey. That night, as the village slept, Meniera made a choice. She would leave before dawn. Alone, she would reach the king first and claim the throne before her sister could even arrive. In the darkness before sunrise, Meniera crept from her bed, gathered her finest clothes, and slipped into the forest. The path to the city was long and wound through wild country. But Meniera feared nothing. She had only contempt for the world. The forest was darker than she expected. Shadows moved between the trees. Strange sounds echoed in the distance. Then she saw her. An old woman, bent and withered, sat by the path. Her clothes were rags. Her face was lined with hunger. "Please," the old woman croaked. "Just a little food. I am so hungry." Meniera's lip curled in disgust. "Get out of my way, old hag. I have no time for beggars." She pushed past, not seeing the way the old woman's eyes followed her, not seeing the flicker of something ancient, and knowing in that gaze. Further down the path, Meniera encountered a young boy, crying by the roadside. "Please help me," he begged. "I'm lost. I don't know the way home." "That's not my problem," Meniera snapped. "Find your own way." and she walked on, leaving his cries behind her. When dawn came and Miniera was discovered missing, Mufaro and Nyasha began their own journey. Nyasha walked with quiet grace, her father by her side. The same forest, the same path, and there, by the roadside, sat the old woman. "Please," she said to Nyasha, "do you have food to spare? I am so hungry." Nyasha knelt beside her. She unpacked her own provisions and gave the woman bread, fruit, and water. "You are kind," the old woman said, and her voice seemed to change, deeper, richer, like the voice of the earth itself. "Remember this, the great king will test you. Be yourself, and all will be well." Before Nyasha could respond, the old woman was gone, vanished like mist. Further down the path, Nyasha found the crying boy. "I'm lost," he sobbed. "I don't know the way." Nyasha sat with him, calmed him, and walked him back to the village path where he could find his way home. Only then did she continue her journey. As night fell, Nyasha and her father reached the edge of the capital. But Nyasha felt a pull, a strange sensation drawing her into the shadows. There, coiled in the moonlight, was a garden snake, but larger. Its scales gleamed like jewels. "Nyasha," it said, and she recognized the voice. Her small garden friend. "You are more than you seem," Nyasha whispered. "As is the king," the snake replied. "Do not fear what you see. See with your heart, not your eyes." Then it too vanished. The palace loomed like a mountain of stone and shadow. Inside, the throne room was vast and cold. Miniera had arrived hours before. She stood in the center of the room, waiting, her beauty on full display like a weapon. Then, the doors at the far end of the chamber opened. What emerged was not a man. It was a creature, enormous, covered in scales, with 5 heads that swayed like serpents. Each head had eyes like fire. Its voice was the sound of thunder and earthquaking. "I am the king," it said. "Will you marry me?" Miniera screamed. The mask she wore shattered. All her cruelty, her contempt, her ugliness poured out in a torrent of terror and rage. "You're a monster," she shrieked. "Get away from me." She fled from the throne room, running through the palace corridors, lost in her own fear. She would never be seen in the palace again. Some say she still wanders, cursed to see monsters in every shadow. Then Nyasha entered. She saw the 5-headed creature. She saw the scales, the fire eyes, the terrible form, and she did not scream. She remembered the old woman, the boy, the garden snake. She remembered what the snake had said. "See with your heart." Nyasha stepped forward and bowed, not in fear, but in respect. "If you are truly the king," she said softly, "then I will marry you. For a crown does not make a king. Character does. And if you have summoned me, then I trust there is goodness in you, no matter what form you take." The throne room filled with light. The creature began to shimmer, to shift, to transform. The scales fell away like shadows at dawn. The 5 heads merged into one, and there stood a man, strong, regal, kind-eyed. "I am Nyoka," he said, "the king. I have taken many forms to see the truth of those who seek me. You, Nyasha, saw past the monster. You saw with kindness, even when faced with fear." He gestured, and the old woman appeared beside him. Then the boy, then the garden snake, now gleaming with magic. "These were all me," Nyoka said. "Tested, watching. The cruel revealed themselves on the journey. The kind revealed themselves in every step. Nyasha smiled, not in triumph, but in understanding. Nyasha became queen, not because she sought the crown, but because she had already proven herself worthy long before she ever reached the palace. Minyara vanished into legend, a cautionary whisper in the dark. And in the royal gardens, a small snake still lives, sunning itself on warm stones, a reminder that the world is always watching. Beauty fades, crowns tarnish, kingdoms fall, but kindness echoes forever. If you enjoyed this story, kindly like, share, and drop a comment in the comment section to let me know where you're watching from. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to watch more inspiring video. Thanks for watching.